Hello, everyone. Welcome to Low Country News. I'm Warren Truth.
And I'm Monica Justice. Today is June 20th, 2026. I hope you guys are ready for another exceptional show. Let's head to local news.
New at 3, a woman is in custody after North Charleston police say her 11-month-old baby died in her care. Police say 27-year-old Jeanette Clayton faces 3 counts of unlawful conduct towards a child. Officers say they were called to an apartment on Eleanor Drive around 1:30 yesterday afternoon, where they found an 11-month-old wrapped in a blanket near the apartment's entrance. Despite life-saving efforts, the child was pronounced dead. Authorities say Clayton was outside of the apartment with her other 2 children when they arrived. A search reportedly revealed that she was missing essential child care supplies, including food. Investigators say the apartment was also infected with bugs.
A lot of people have thoughts on this. A beloved Low Country landmark officially on the market. Seaway Restaurant in Allendale now listed for sale after serving the community for decades, inviting people in from all across the area. It's such a hot spot. The news stirring a lot of emotions among loyal customers who say the restaurant is more than just a place to eat. It's part of the Low Country's history. News 4's Emily Deanne has more on what's next for the iconic destination.
Well, here along Highway 17, a Low Country landmark that has welcomed generations of diners could soon be entering a new chapter. The Seaway Restaurant in Allendale, a beloved seafood destination and gathering place for locals and travelers alike, is now being offered for sale, raising questions about the future of one of Charleston County's most recognizable roadside institutions.
Oh my goodness, you get so much food, and it was really very good.
It's been a staple for Charleston for so long. It's an old school restaurant.
For more than 3 decades, the Seaway Restaurant has been more than just a place to grab a plate of fried seafood.
And it's meant the world to my mother. This is her heart. This is what she really loved, is this restaurant. But she just turned 90, and I'm not far behind her.
Built in 1929, it didn't become a restaurant until the 90s, and since then has developed a reputation for traditional Southern cooking, fresh local seafood, and a welcoming atmosphere.
My family on my mother's side have been merchants for the last 250, 300 years. And I think that this was just a continuation of them being merchants. I want it to be a place that people want to come to.
For the people who grew up eating hush puppies, fried flounder, and seafood platters at Seaway, the restaurant is more than a business. It's a landmark.
We hate to see anything happen to it. It's just been a part of the heritage down here for so long.
Today, that legacy faces an uncertain future. Property records show it's listed for nearly $2.5 million, including multiple acres along Seaway Road, creating speculation about what may come.
We heard that it was being sold to someone else, and we wanted to make sure we got a chance to have some of the original recipes stuff before new management might change some things.
It's worked out for the best. I think it's had a really good run, and it's nowhere near the end of its lifespan.
Whether the next chapter brings new ownership, restoration, or change, many in Allendale hope the spirit of Seaway Restaurant will continue to serve future generations. Working for you in Allendale, Emily Deanne, ABC News 4.
Officers from across the country are right here in the Low Country for the annual Holy City Motorcycle Training Competition, testing their skills, focusing on safety and community impact. The Holy City Police Motorcycle Training Seminar kicked off Wednesday with networking sessions, and now officers are wrapping up the event, navigating tight cone courses and sharpening slow speed control on motorcycles.
Yeah, so this is called a police motorcycle rodeo or skills competition. So the officers are out here to hone their skills, slow speed maneuvers, which helps them get in and out of traffic, get to crashes. And it's all slow speed stuff, and you try to get through the cones you see behind me as quick as you can without making a mistake.
Law enforcement agencies from North Carolina, Florida, and Virginia were on hand taking part in the action-packed competition. For officers who don't ride motorcycles, electric scooters were also available, helping them build balance, speed control, and confidence on the road. Vendors and organizations like Street Dynamics were also in attendance, showcasing radar and traffic safety technology. Organizers say tools like these play a major role in preventing emergencies before they happen.
Well, we utilize a lot of our radar and LiDAR technology along with data collection. We've got speed trailers that we use with the DOT and the Highway Patrol. They had a blue light campaign last year that we were partnered with them on. And so they were having a lot of work construction injuries and a few deaths that they wanted to lower those numbers down.
Proceeds from today's event will benefit MUSC Children's Health, supporting families and children across the Low Country. But organizers say beyond fundraising, the mission remains the same, supporting first responders and strengthening safety on the roadways.
In the end, like today, there is like a competition part of it, but it's the camaraderie, and I hope that this gives the opportunity for the citizens to see us police officers from a different side.
Officials say events like this help keep officers sharp while under pressure, while also keeping the roadways safe for everyone. Reporting in North Charleston, I'm Delilah James, Count on 2.
All right, y'all, there's a lot going on in the world. Up next, World News.
That deal with Iran was signed just days ago, and it's already being tested. At the 11th hour, the White House putting pause on plans for Vice President J.D. Vance to travel to Switzerland for the next round of talks. That's for the crucial next phase to determine the future of Iran's nuclear program. A U.S. official now tells us that Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is headed to Switzerland, where Jared Kushner is expected to join him, but the timing for these talks is still unclear. Now, Iran had delayed, saying there would be no meeting because Israel was still trading attacks with Hezbollah in Lebanon. The agreement between the U.S. and Iran calls for the war to end on all fronts, but Israel was not part of their deal. A U.S. official said yesterday that Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a ceasefire, but as of this morning, Lebanese media is reporting that at least 16 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes and drone attacks in Lebanon today. What this shows is that the conflict with Lebanon has the potential to derail the future of this U.S.-Iran deal. And all of this coming as even some Republican members of Congress are openly criticizing this deal, saying it's a win for Iran because even though Iran has made no new nuclear commitments, even though these talks are now stalled, the country is already getting the economic benefits. For the first time in decades, Iran can now freely sell its oil on the global market.
A new report delivers a warning for America's retirees. Social Security's financial outlook just got worse. The program's trust fund is now projected to run dry in 2032, a year earlier than previously expected, raising the risk of automatic benefit cuts really for millions of retirees. And joining us now is Brandon Arnold, Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union. Good morning to you. Happy Friday Eve. So,
morning.
We're talking benefits would automatically be reduced by about 22%. So for the average senior who really depends on that check every month, what would that kind of cut actually look like in real life?
Yeah, I mean, we could be talking about a catastrophic hit. And again, this is in 6 years, but we're talking about a Social Security benefit on a monthly basis right now that averages about $2,100 per senior. So if you take 22% of that, you're talking about a $450 a month cut. That's absolutely enormous, would be tremendously disruptive for your average senior there that's living on a paycheck to paycheck basis. And hopefully inflation in 6 years isn't what it is today, but with so many people already concerned about the cost of living, this is looming very, very large.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and also too, Washington's known for years this day was coming. The problem though continues to get worse. So at this point, Brandon, is there still a path to protect current retirees without massive benefit cuts or even major tax hikes, do you think?
I think so, but every day that goes by, it gets a little bit more challenging to avoid those major disruptions to the program. You know, you can tell by the gray in my beard, I've been doing this for a little while. I remember back 20 years ago with George W. Bush as president, we were working on Social Security reform, trying to restructure the system to make it more structurally sound. It was expensive back then. It's only gotten more expensive as demographics have changed and as the politicians, frankly, have continued to sweep this problem under the rug and do very little about it.
Which is why it's called the third rail of politics, because neither party wants to touch it. But as you said, the clock is ticking. Benefit cuts now just years away. So is doing nothing becoming the bigger political risk at this point?
I really think so. You know, anyone that says we can't touch Social Security, we can't reform this program, is owning that 22% cut that could materialize in just 6 years, that $450 hit to your average senior. They're saying that is their preferred policy option. So the cost of doing nothing is far higher than making some reasonable reforms that could put this program on stronger footing for millions of seniors that are relying on it for their day-to-day survival.
And as I understand it, there's really quite a few proposals being discussed right now. I've heard they talked about raising the retirement age, changing how cost of living adjustments are calculated. Tell us more about some of the options, perhaps, and which one you believe is the most realistic path at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of solutions. Like I said, we've been known about this problem for decades. We've been talking about it for decades. We've put a lot of things out there that could be enacted. The problem is Congress hasn't done so. And some of those are relatively small cost of living adjustments to greater reflect the true cost of living escalation. That could help reduce some of the structural problems there. There's more bigger changes, more radical changes, like restructuring the program, something George W. Bush talked about again 20 years ago. So people actually own their retirement accounts and they're investing in private savings rather than relying on a government-run program, a fully government-run program. I think that should be on the table as well. So we need to consider small changes, big changes, all points in between right now.
Tonight, leaders across Maryland are weighing in after circulation of this video here, appearing to show ICE agents detaining someone while pinning them to the ground outside a school in East Baltimore. Tonight, Fox 45's Jeff Abel spoke to a witness and joins us live with what we've learned so far. Jeff.
You know, local leaders have been quick to condemn this incident, but others have been quick to question it. While it did end on the front lawn of a school, there's some indication tonight that is not the place where it started.
I'm still in shock that this happened in school.
It was just after 7 this morning when bus driver Jude Castellanos was preparing to drop off 10 children at Commodore John Rogers Elementary School. But instead, she drove right into this.
You cannot do this here. This is school property. This is school property.
School officials say it was immigration enforcement agents who took one man into custody and detained a woman. It all happened as the 10 children aboard Jude Castellanos' bus watched and worried.
This girl told me, they're going to take me, they're going to take me. I'm like, hey, chill. Like, you better calm down, then I'm going to take you.
Federal agents have long pledged not to take enforcement actions at schools. Today, politicians were quick to condemn this incident. This type of enforcement is not welcome in Baltimore, wrote Mayor Brandon Scott. Governor Wes Moore called it deeply disturbing and vowed to pursue answers from ICE. Federal immigration officials weren't discussing the incident today, but have long maintained that their mission is to protect the homeland through the identification, arrest, detention, and removal of individuals who undermine public safety, national security, or the integrity of U.S. immigration laws. Earlier this year, Maryland's former ICE director insisted that the agency has never targeted schools.
We have not targeted any children. It is the most wild misconception I've heard in my almost 20 years in this job. It just takes our handcuffs off to arrest those violent offenders who just happen to be by one of those areas. We don't want that person running into a school. God knows what they would do.
It is still unclear what prompted this takedown. Agents at the scene suggested it may have started off of school property.
He just ran over an officer a few minutes ago, man. If you don't mind,
please go that way. He literally just hit an officer.
It looked violent, yeah. Because I think that guy was trying to fight back.
Castellanos is also convinced the incident started elsewhere and wound up ending on the school's front lawn.
In school, we feel safe. You know, parents, like, they send children to the school, you know, thinking that they're going to be safe. But this is completely insane. I've never seen this.
Well, tonight, the governor says he's now working with ICE leadership to determine how and why this happened and to ensure it never happens again. We're live tonight. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
The FBI joining an urgent manhunt for this suspect, who police say carried out a deadly shooting spree across Kansas City highways, leaving one person dead and 4 others injured.
All companies use caution. One shooter from a black Honda Civic
This happening Tuesday night amid the World Cup match between Argentina and Algeria just miles away. Now the FBI offering a $25,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of 22-year-old Oscar Sanchez Munoz. Police say after he shot into one of the cars, a driver died when the vehicle crashed. Victims describing the chaos to police.
They were driving down the highway or roadway when one or more shots were fired into their vehicles.
Among those victims, a teen and 3 adults, including an Uber driver, taking 2 fans to a World Cup match at Kansas City Stadium. Police saying they tracked Sanchez Munoz to 2 homes where they thought he could be. One caught fire. At the other, spent shells visible from the ammunition police used to get inside. Several windows shattered. A search ending with no sign of the suspect. Authorities warning that the suspect is armed and dangerous, telling anyone who sees him to call 911 immediately.
Regional law enforcement agencies are right now searching for the subject and need the public's help in locating him.
And there's still no word of motive today. The FBI repeating that warning that this suspect should be considered armed and dangerous, guys.
That's right. All right, Olivia, thank you so much.
A terror plot thwarted, aimed at attacking the UFC fights at the White House over the weekend. Thanks for being with us here at 10 o'clock. I'm Josh Chapin. Right now, a group of suspects from across the country are sitting in jail. Our Christian Flores digs into what we know about each suspect, their alleged involvement in the plot, and what comes next.
I never would have expected any of it. Like, he doesn't seem like that type of guy.
Gabriel Foote was in disbelief when he found out his childhood friend, 19-year-old Tyson Proper, is the alleged ringleader of what the FBI calls a terror plot against the White House UFC fights. He spoke with our sister station in Ohio.
It's just kind of crazy to see that a nice person like what he was, when I grew up with him, to be what people claim him to be now. It's pretty crazy.
Police across the country arrested 5 men, Proper in Ohio, Brian Roa and Michael Thomas in California, Abraham Alvarez in Nebraska, and Daniel Eskridge in Missouri. Court documents revealed chats where Proper allegedly recruited these men and mapped out the area. Investigators say they planned to use explosive drones to force a mass evacuation and then shoot at the crowd. It all fell apart when police say Proper's parents called them and said he spent $3,000 on guns and ammunition.
The threat to the UFC situation is being handled by other offices.
Even though the target was in D.C., Janine Pirro, the city's top prosecutor, likely will not be able to try these cases because the alleged plotting took place outside of the city.
Most of the actions are outside of D.C. In fact, all of them that we're aware of are outside of the district. You've got to have some activity in the district.
As of Wednesday night, many questions are still unanswered.
How? Like, what happened? How did he get there? Like, it's just crazy. I can't wrap my brain around it. I want more answers than what I know. Like, I just have more questions.
Christian Flores, 7 News.
If you feel like you're struggling to balance your healthcare costs, a new survey says you're not alone. From prescriptions to appointments, millions of Americans say it's getting harder to keep up with rising prices. ABC's Yuri Benejoud is here to break down the financial strain.
Well, Americans simply cannot afford to get sick right now. That's according to a new poll out from Gallup this week that showed over half of Americans cannot afford their healthcare costs. It's actually the lowest level since 2021. In just the span of 1 year, 2.8 million people reported that they can no longer make their medical appointments or even fill their prescriptions due to these rising costs. And young adults actually were hit hardest, seeing the steepest decline over the past couple of years. Now, this all comes in the context of the broader issue of medical care and costs in this country. The U.S. spends more on healthcare than any other developed nation. In 2024, that number was $5.4 trillion. And it all comes in the context of this expiring of the ACA tax subsidies, with many Americans seeing their premiums increase up to 20%, that monthly payment in the past year. And of course, the concern really here is that you're going to miss a medical appointment that you might need. And we're not just talking about your primary care visit that you have annually with your doctor. It's also cancer screenings, for example, like your mammogram or your colonoscopy. And if you are unfortunately diagnosed with cancer and it comes at, you're missing that screening, it could potentially potentially come at a later stage, which increases your risk of more further treatments and, of course, death. And also for those Americans that are having to choose between grocery prices and rent and their prescriptions, that's also another concern. And this all leads to increased stress on emergency rooms, which ironically are actually the costliest place to get medical care. Now, with no signs of economic relief, there is some concern that this trend is going to continue. Mary?
ABC's Yuri Benajad, thank you.
This is what I call a true weather woman. See you guys on land. Up next, weather.
Good Saturday evening, everyone. At First Alert Meteorologist Lexi Horvath. Well, we had a beautiful start to the weekend. As we head into those overnight hours, we're going to watch the clouds building. Temperatures actually a little bit cooler out there. A few of us just slightly below average in the upper 60s further inland, low 70s as we get closer to the coast. We are watching a stalled front to our south. That's going to lift as we head into the day tomorrow. So we have a good mix of sunshine and clouds for your Father's Day, but by the afternoon, we're watching the heat, increasing humidity. That brings us a few spotty showers tomorrow afternoon. Here's that timing for you. Clouds overnight, a good mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a few spotty afternoon showers. As we look ahead, that unsettled weather pattern picks up next week. Highs holding on to the low 90s with lows in the 70s.
8-ball corner pocket. That's how it's done. Up next, sports.
Low Country Sports News Alert.
The U.S. men's national team punched its ticket to the next round of the FIFA World Cup with a 2-0 win over Australia. Here's a live look right now at that stadium out in Seattle where the match happened. The Charleston Battery has been hosting watch parties across the Low Country for the tournament. News 4's Jesse Klinger attended today's event in North Charleston and shares how fans are feeling about Team USA's run so far.
Local soccer fans packed into Holy City Brewing to cheer on the U.S. men's national team in the FIFA World Cup as they took on Australia. Fans say attending watch parties helps create a strong sense of unity.
It's kind of overwhelming with all the cheering, but it's fun to see other soccer fans coming to watch.
Fans had already taken over the brewery before the match kicked off at 3.
It's a madhouse.
A crowd those in attendance weren't surprised by.
Not at all. It's a soccer town. We got the Charleston Battery here, a huge following for that team, and not a surprise at all to see them here at Holy City Brewery.
A lot of people really love the beautiful game here.
The energy was electric and contagious. The large crowd chanting after each goal.
USA! USA! I think this is awesome. I mean, everybody's excited about the World Cup. Everybody either took the day off or had the day off and coming together for USA.
Fans say the sporting event is bringing the community together during a time where tensions can sometimes feel divisive.
There's so many things unite the whole country nowadays, it seems, and soccer is certainly one of them, so we're happy to be here.
Love it, love it. Glad to see America's really kind of taking on to this. This is great.
Fans say they look forward to seeing the U.S. continue their winning streak.
I'll tell you what, these Charleston folks showed out for the USA today. And you know what? I think we have a chance to win it all, baby. I believe that we will win. Let's go, USA.
The U.S. men's national team will play Turkey next on Thursday, June 25th. In North Charleston, Jesse Klinger, News 4.
Well, speaking of money in the World Cup, it's expected to be one of the biggest gambling events ever as well. Citing bookies.com, CBS News reporting that Americans are going to bet more than $3 billion on the games through online sports betting sites, which are legal here in Maine. Another $2.5 million in bets are expected to be placed on prediction markets like Kalshi. At Oddfellows Sportsbook and Bar in Portland, their general manager says that betting on the World Cup differs from betting on things like football, basketball, or hockey games.
Basically, it's more of a money line. You're betting on a team. There's the prop bets that you'd see for those other events. Generally, it's either you bet on the money line, the draw. So it's exciting either way.
The World Cup action kicked off today, and it runs right through July 19th.
All right, y'all, that wraps things up for us tonight for Low Country News. I'm Monica Justice.
And I'm Warren Truth. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to True Perspective 843 on all platforms. Good night, everyone, and thank you for watching.